Adam Savage, here in my cave with a piano. This is the famous Schoenhut kids piano. And I picked this one up at an auction site for a song. And I also picked up this one at an auction site for a song. They're both in a really relatively sad state of disrepair. My one-day build today is to use these two pianos to make a working piano. Yeah, I'm going to take them apart. I'm going to put them back together. They may include very little of the original pianos. I am not sure. One's got 18 keys, 18 white keys across, and the other has 15. They seem to be two different kinds of keys. This is a plan I concocted a few months ago, and I bought these. They've been sitting over in the corner, and I haven't yet figured out exactly how to tackle this. So we're just going to tackle it before I figured out exactly how to tackle it. Yeah. They run on, they work by pounding little, here, you can see it here. See that? There's little wires, basically little rods, little metal rods, and they ring. I know, somewhat. I have a couple questions here. I wonder if I can increase the resonance. That'd be nice. You can see one of these being used in OK Go's latest video for All Together now. Their beautiful pandemic song. We're all still the same. Everything's untouched, but forever changed. Yeah, there's a piano solo on a Schoenhut piano in that song. I tend to notice that sort of thing. All right. I also might be able to adjust the tuning just a little bit. Just a little bit. We will see. Yeah, here goes. I really have no idea if I'm going to end up with a piano at the end of this. But I've always wanted one of these working. And somebody already tried to repair this one. This key is a not unreasonable attempt to solve the problem. But oh, well, at least I can keep the Schoenhut logo. Okay, you know, it's always funny what happens when you start to take something apart. I didn't have a plan when I started, but now I have a plan. Between these two pianos, that word is always going to be in quotes. This is definitely the one I'm going to restore. It has a couple of big problems. One is the masonite backboard. The masonite backboard that the main metal rods that make the sounds, the backboard is separated from the piano. So I have to replace that. And I'll use some really nice aircraft ply for that. There's some felt along the bottom of this one. This is just in every way a more robust and better made piano. It's got a separate hammer arrangement, which is also a little sticky. So I'll need to give that a little bit of oil and love. I'll replace the felt under here. But what do I do about these two broken keys? One, just barely. 4, 6, 9, 13. Oh, I think I can do it. Okay, that's enough for the white keys. Enough for the black keys. Okay, I've decided. I am going to attempt to remake all the white keys out of this hardwood that I've got. It's going to take some engineering, but it shouldn't be too hard. I'm going to leave the black keys out of the plastic, although I may add a little weight to them to give them a little more touch. I'm going to replace the felt inside here, replace this backboard, and I'm kind of wondering if I want to tune this. Let's see here. I don't know. I don't know if I can tune it. I mean, you can see one of the things that they did is they sharpen the edges, they sharpen the intersection with the hole here to give it. Oh, that was almost Carol of the Bells. So, yeah. I'm going to start with the hardest part first, which is a million years ago. I'm stopping to tell you a story. A million years ago, a million years ago, I went to London and Bob Godfrey, who was an old friend of my dad's, somehow managed to get me a tour of the London College of Furniture Design. And it was amazing. It was amazing. So the London College of Furniture Design, this is 1985, 86. They taught the vocation of high-end making. So high-end furniture making, plywood bending, carpentry, but also musical instruments. So I was going through like master's programs where your freaking thesis was a grand piano. Rooms full of people making cellos and guitars. It was amazing. That's what I'm thinking about here. I was like watching people, literally like everything down to hand winding the strings of the piano and doing your own glue up of every felt hammer. Every student did that. So I'm about to kind of take a walk down my memory lane. And I got a lot of, I need 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. I need 18 blanks out of this stuff. This is the wood that Asa Hillis used for my Kubrick chair. It's nice and dense. It should give a nice feel. These feel a little, yeah, hear that? Hear that? Yeah, no bueno. I really appreciate the attempt this guy made to use acrylic and styrene and some pine and a screw for weight to remake a key. That is, he did a nice job and it fit well. We're going to go in spirit and change the whole thing. Needed 18 keys and I've got 19, which is great. A little tight for my love, but it's a nice wood. It's got a lightness to it. I'm trying to figure out how to engineer the little pivot slots in all of these, and I think I'm going to tape them all together on a single board. Yeah, I think I'm going to measure it. You know, when I do stuff like this, I wonder if there are people who make pianos who are watching this and like knowing they can tell, I'm sure of this, they can tell the pitfalls that I don't yet see coming. Even with something like as primitive as this little Schoenhut piano key, right? With not a lot of mechanical complexity to it. And yet, I know there is some relationship between stuff, right? Okay. So I'm now trying to engineer. I have to do two things to the keys. They're all mounted top down, right? So that's the top. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to mill out the slot, and that's the pivot slot that allows the key to balance. And there is my mark for the slot. I'm going to cut this out. Yeah, I'm debating on how to cut this out. I've got a ball end mill. I've got a ball end mill here, which I like, that matches the radius of the bottom of this. How do I fan it out? I could do it on the table saw, but frankly, I might just like cut a piece of wood that's that angle and put sandpaper on it and just slowly. I think that's what Woodford guitars would do. Creep up on it. He's my inspiration for this build. Musical instrument build. Ted Woodford is my spirit angel on this one. Okay, so front, underside, those are all nice. Everything looks good. Then there's also this little promontory, and this engages with the felt that kicks the key up. So this is cut to the dimensions of the footprint of this little pyramid, but I have to cut out 18 of them and put them in and glue them down. Yeah. Angle finding on the angle on this guy. Using a beautiful old Starrett protractor that I picked up on eBay. Oh, no. I'm trying to do the... that's... I have three different angles I'm measuring, and I keep forgetting which one I'm actually doing. All right. That's beautiful. That's the angle of the sides of the triangle, and that is 10 degrees. All right, that's not safe. I don't want to do that. I don't. One side's easy to cut. The other side, oh, it's so easy to cut. I have figured out a solution. This angle here is 25 degrees. So I set my miter gauge for my bandsaw at 25 degrees. I've got my chunks of wood here. And what I do, let me bring you in here to see this. So what I'm doing is I'm making a slice. That sets the first 25-degree angle, right? That one, that's 25 degrees. So then I flip this over, bring it over to the fence. That matches exactly. Look at that. Yeah. There'll be some post-processing of these, some sanding after the fact. And there'll be some winners and some losers, as it were. But yeah, I only need 18 of these. I'm gonna start now. All right, here we go. There they are, my completed little triangles. I needed 18, I made 20. What you heard were the sounds of me cutting it on the table saw. Bandsaw noises. Yeah, what you heard was me getting up the nerve and cutting a nice little 10-degree right there. And you can take a look. See. Yep. I really dig it. Matches. Hey, you know what I have? I have a parts cleaner. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to clean some parts. Yeah, I built this part cleaner a while back. And I got this rusty old piano soundboard, tuning fork. You know what I mean. I'm going to clean the rust off. Join me now, won't you? You know, what's really clear when I'm doing this is that this was made by hand. I can see these holes aren't exactly perfectly spaced. And there's just a lot of workmanship that I can see. This is not built in some giant factory. It's probably a small factory. Oh, I'm so sure some of you are going to link me to some sites that talk about this piano company. This is very pleasurable work. Great. Boy, yeah, as they get smaller, they get more level. I don't know if correlation equals causality, but it's certainly the first place to start looking. It's important to remember that every single time each one of these was bent just a little bit, it's added to a little bit of metal fatigue in a weak spot. And so it's just, you know, you don't have an endless number of chances to bend these. Ooh, 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 All right, come on. There we go. All right. Let's line up and look at them like this. Does this matter? Oh, wow. Damn. Okay. I don't expect this is going to make it sound better, but let's hear it. Yeah. It's an anemic sound, but that it's definitely better than it was. And let's I'll try and take care of this business up here. All right. We're moving along. This is a rust protector. That's great. That'll sit over here for a while. Okay. I've mapped out the keys here. There are 5 different kinds. The first kind I'm going to cut is a left cut, but that's the same as the right cut on the other side. So there's 10 of those, and I'm softening the edges with a pivot point. Back. 1. 3, 3, 3, 3. So then there's 3 2s, which are an even split. 2, 2, 2. 4s, 1 and 2. 4, 4, and 2 5s, right? 5, 5. And then I've got my big fat key down there. So, 1s and 3s are all going to get cut at the same time. How am I going to cut them? I'm going to cut them on the mill. Awesome. All right. In a case like this, where the marking and the cutting are incredibly variegated, really your task becomes information management. Like that's one of the more important aspects of this. Right, so let's see here. I'm just going to make that really dark so I can see it. This is the underside. This is the underside. Yep. Okay, so now the question is, yeah, that's the underside, so great. So I could just like start to cut these, but I actually want to see them all extant before I do any cutting, because it's just best practice to do that. Then if I set these, like I'm going to set up the 1s and the 2s so that they're opposed to each other, but that I only have to make one cut to cut all 10 of those pieces. And that's more than half my work done in a single pass on the mill. But like there are so many left and right aspects of this to maintain. If I get one thing wrong, I could screw up half a dozen pieces, and that's bad. So it's the 3s that are the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so the 3 is like this and goes, wait a second. The 1s and 3s are not the same? No, they're not. Okay, well then. Yeah, slightly different. Yep, okay, we'll do it. So 3 is like this, which means so I'm not cutting the 1s and 3s at the same time because they're not the same cut. It's only about 60 thou difference, but that's enough. I'm sure some piano people were like, no, 1s and 3s are not the same. So that gets cut out. That gets cut out. 2s. There are 3 2s. And the 2s are an even split. They are an even split. Let's just double check that even split. It's not quite an even split. Is that really? Yes, it is an even split. Okay, good. So the 2s I know I should be using a marking gauge for this, but you know what? This works fine. And it's just for helping me understand where I'm at. Two 4s, 2 5s. 4 is not an even split. Right, so make sure I do it upside down. This should take me about 30 minutes of cutting on the lathe to cut all these out. I'm wondering about what big screw up is going to happen, because I'm sure I'm going to screw something up. I just don't know. Is it going to be one of these keys? The 4s are correct. The 4s are correct. The 2s are correct. Wait a second. Am I? 5s. That's the only one left. 5s. All right. So 5s go like this. Yep. Just the number of times marking out and shading the areas that I'm supposed to cut out has saved my ass. A million. Here are all the piano keys marked for cutting, the 5 different kinds. Here they are marked for measuring. What you heard me complaining about was one of the keys dropped and shattered, but that's why I made an extra key. However, I only have one extra. there's a couple of things I would like to highlight here. One is, yes, I have chucked a router bit into my mill. That works just fine. I'm operating at about 3,200 RPM, I think, 35. Second is, I'm getting within like 10th of each of these measurements. Actually, I think I'm probably getting even a little bit closer than that. But, you know, because this is wood and there's a lot of slop in this, I'm not like being crazy obsessive. I'm only being moderately obsessive. But it's having great results, and this is the third to last cut. Just have to bring this over to the middle of the line. I can take, all right. Okay, ooh. There we go. I have also done something else, which is instead of putting in a vise stop, I'm literally just holding up a parallel against the end of the vise. Again, that's accurate within like a sheet of paper or so. I mean, it's not that bad. Again, if this was metal and these were mechanical parts that had to work together, I'd go with a more robust and repeatable vise stop, but this is plenty. And when I turn this over, what you'll see is that now I can't just rest it on the parallels because it's got this notch cut out of it. So I bring it into some orientation, and it lined up with the vise. That's good. And then I stack up some of my parallels. And again, this is not hyper accurate, but it's moderately accurate. And then I just use my feel. You got some springiness in the vise. You got some ability to kind of move it around. Yep. Tighten it in. I like it. And now when I feel this with my fingers here, that is within a very small distance of being exactly right. I'm already at that cut point, so I'm just going to cut that point. The last cut. Huzzah! That might be the last cut. Oh, also the last thing I did was for every single cut, I had frangible pieces on both sides of the wood to prevent the splintering out. Here come the last two pieces. 5 and 5. Look at that. See what we can do? See what we can do? Okay, so is every single one of these stalks on the back the same width? About 1/2 inch? They're all about a 1/2 inch, give or take about 40 thou. Oink. Oink, oink. Oink, oink. Oink, oink. I don't know why I'm making oinking sounds, but really it just seems like what's required. So now I'm going to start. These are all garbage. Every last bit of this is garbage. Here, I'll clean later. What I really need to do is pull out this backboard and remake it and put it back in with the soundboard on it. Sorry, with the chimes. What the hell do I call that thing? The harp? It's not a harp because there's no strings in it. The reason I have to get the harp in here is because if there are any adjustments I need to make between the keys and their relationship to the Structure, I need to know it now, not later. I need to not be surprised by that. Ooh. Okay, so what I need is a piece of plywood that is 18 minus a shave by 3 3/4. This will be my new backplate for the harp. It is 6-ply aircraft plywood. Should make a much nicer resonator than this, whatever the hell that is. Wow, you need help down there, don't you? Yes, I'll get to you in a bit. But right now, I think we just put this soundboard in. Shaping. Putting back in the 4 original screws. I think it's a much better resonator. I'm actually kind of excited about it. Yeah. Okay, so there's that, and then there is this, and we're going to pop this in, and we're going to put it back in with all the original hardware. Sounds pretty good. I don't hear any dead spots yet, but hope springs eternal. Murphy's Law will out. Let's see here. This one is weird. We'll deal with you later. The felt on all of these seems like it's actually pretty good. It all feels about the same amount of springiness. It's old, but I don't think I need to redo those. I'm going to add a little bit of light machine oil here. Just can't hurt. Have a little bit of lubrication in there. And then I'm going to let the lubrication spread around with a fun thing. There are some of these little spacers to deal with key vagaries. There we are. A little more bearing action. I think I need to take this all the way apart. I think I just need to get whatever oil and grease and grime is there, because it shouldn't be this. There shouldn't be this much friction. No, there really shouldn't. this one. Okay. So let me get some steel wool on this. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can feel there's like all sorts of stuff going on this thing. I'm going to take this one step further and hit it on my polishing wheel. I know, I was trying to take a shortcut. Nothing beats doing it right. That's totally a Ted Woodford type of phrase. I was trying to take a not saying that Ted would take a shortcut, just that the kind of resignation in my voice. For the record, I don't think these are different. I think they're probably injection molded all at once, which would account for their numbers each being slightly different. But with one of these things, if you get it wrong and you're wrong, yeah, that's bad mojo right there. Right, everything slips past each other really nicely. I've got some remnants of machine oil in there, which is exactly what I would like. Don't want a lot, just want enough. It will also help prevent any rust. Good atmosphere for everything to be in. That's a huge difference mechanically. Damn. That was worth every second of the refinement. Okay, so now I guess I can, and oh, these interim sounds are delightful. Oh, yeah. I'm sure you saw it coming. Oh, yeah. Okay. All right, well, my piano keys are in the right shape. They are the right form factor. They are improperly weighted. It needs to be back weighted. And right now they're front heavy. So I did a sample. I put this on the mill. Look at that. I machined out a little pocket. And lo, sure enough, when I put it in here, it's now properly back heavy. Excellent. So I just have to do this to the other 17 keys. There we go. Whoop, 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 and we're done. We're done. Look at this. Look at how pretty all that is. Oh, so gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Okay, so one. All right. Excellent. Starting to look like something. Time to glue on the little pyramids. Time to glue on the little pyramids. Okay, so I'm putting in the little pyramids that, like the black keys, allow me to, play the piano. All right, so now I've got those in there. Oh. There we go. That might be my first piano key that I've ever made. Oh. Yep, no, that's not in. It's not glued. Doesn't work. I'm overly optimistic about what thin crazy glue can do. That is somewhat solid. Yes. Put it in here. Oh, I see. Right. I think I can use this Velcro and whoa, look at that. Okay, so I was thinking you hear this? That sound? I gotta get rid of that sound. So I figure I'd put a piece of this Velcro loop underneath it. I'm stuck on you, sweetie pie. The thing is that the piece of Velcro I pulled off the roll, absolutely the perfect size. What I noticed was the action on the black keys was just a little bit more robust, and thus I wanted that. I'm going to assembly line this, draw all the holes. I don't know why this story just occurred to me, but a million years ago, I was driving through New York with my friend Greg, now known as Nitosh. And Greg and I were driving a van. We were working on a film shoot. So we were driving a van and we're driving through the Lower East Side. And we ended up, oh, that's it, right. We saw a couple of kids. We were kids too, but they were even younger than us. We were like 20, 21, 22. These kids were like 18, 19, and they were NYU film students, totally clearly. And they were shooting a film, and they were like doing parking management for the film. Like, because Greg and I worked in film in New York, we totally could tell what jobs these people had and exactly what they were doing. And as we were like maneuvering around them in this traffic situation, we were like kind of having a funny little moment with them. Like they were directing us and we were being cool and it was fun. And then Greg rolls down his window and says, what are you working on? And they immediately go blank face, like, we're not supposed to tell anyone. And he goes, oh, well, aren't we Mr. and Mrs. Importance? And every now and then, I'm reminded of that. Yeah, I know. The stories that show up in our heads. Barreling down on it. Before final assembly, I will tell you, I'm going to give these keys a clear coat. I'm not going to be super precious about the clear coat, as I've been precious about everything else up till now. Just something for a little more refined look and some protection. I'll tell you a bit of engineering know-how I utilized on this is it took me a lot less time to make these piano keys because these were an add-on and not integral to the piece of wood. That was like totally clear to me from the get-go that those would be added on. I get to do so many more operations in a much easier fashion that way. Okay, oh, now it's time for the screws. I'm going to hand place each one. Alexa, play All Together Now by OK Go.
All Together Now by OK Go on Amazon Music.
Let's secure that first. What a great sound. Awesome. Let's get some rubber feet on this puppy. Yeah. Nice big fat rubber feet. Rubber feet. Yes. Wood screws. Excellent. Okay. I am advocating for something that I've been doing a few times. I've been doing it more and more over the last year. And now I think it's time to codify it as a genuine philosophy about making. And that is taking credit. That's signing your work. This piano, I've had a lot of fun with it. And I took it all, a good portion of the way apart and put it back together. And I signed it. Repaired and new keys added. 521 by Adam Savage. Signed it. San Francisco. I'll say California. Like, who knows how long in the future. USA. There we go. This is how makers talk to each other across the ages. The couple of times I've cracked a piece of furniture and found writing in it, and sometimes even somebody's handwritten note, super thrilling. So, my fellow repair people, builders, makers, sign your work. Talk to each other across the ages. What could be better? Seriously. This is it. We're in final assembly, lads. Lads and lasses. Again. Let's cut it. Let's cut it. Let's cut it into chunks. Damn. Milwaukee scissors be beefy. Okay. I gotta assembly line this thing. There's a lot of balls in the air. Worlds are colliding, Jerry! Well, that was better. God, that one just sounds like crap. Little bit of True Romance for you Tony Scott fans out there. That is it for my Schoenhut piano. Well, I need to add another nail there. But I have always wanted a working one of these, and now I have one. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this one-day build. I'm glad to clear this off my books and clear the corner that this was taken up in the cave. Just about 130 more of those, and we'll be all cleaned up in here someday. Thank you guys so much for joining me for this one-day build. Stay safe, and I will see you next time. Thank you guys so much for watching that video. If you'd like to further support us here at Tested, one of the single best ways you can do it is through a Tested membership. Now, there's a link below as to the various levels of Tested membership, but at the top level, I want to explain it's so much more than videos that are exclusive. There are Q&As, there are live streams, there are some exclusive videos, but the thing I love most about the Tested membership is the interactivity, the constant and wonderful communication between the Tested members, and not just me, but our entire team. Every day, it feels more and more like a beautiful community just devoted to the joys of making. So join up and become one of us, one of us, one of us.